Welcome, my little critters, to Tales from the Crit Season 2, The Level Up. We're an actual play podcast with an ever-changing cast of players making our way through a bunch of different RPG systems, from micro RPGs to some of the more well-known role-playing games out there, and the occasional highly narrative tabletop game. Content warnings can be found in the episode's description. My name is Riley Groves, and I am the Crit Keeper on this episode of Tales from the Crit. Welcome back to Tales from the Crit. Today we will be playing the Season of Autumn from A Quiet Year, and the critters I have at the table today are Rebecca.
Hello.
Derek.
Hello.
And Connor.
Hey.
Before we jump back into this game and helping the community, or hindering the community, that we are benevolently in charge of, our question from our 3rd edition pod deck interview deck is, if you had to lose one of your 5 senses, which one would you give up? I'm going to expand on that. Why would you give it up?
I'll go first. I'd say smell, because it's super unnecessary sometimes, most of the time. When things are gross, that's something I don't need in my life. I'd miss good smelling things too, but I don't know, now I'm thinking about food and baked goods and flowers, and I'm like, wow, that's actually really sad.
Yeah.
I would have to agree, sense of smell, because I think it would be the least detrimental to your quality of life, but at the same time, it would dull in your sense of taste.
That's true too.
Which would be my number 2.
So I went to smell as my first. I'm like, smell, get rid of that. I don't need to smell things. Like, that's close up. But then I'm like, actually, I would probably get rid of taste. Food is delicious, and I like to taste all the taste. But sometimes, eating can be a chore, and I just want to just
guzzle it down.
Just guzzle it down. I'm like, okay, I guess, you can still kind of get a little bit, like you were just saying, with smell, has a little. So you might be able to at least enjoy smells and have a memory of what tasted good, and there's still texture and stuff like that.
That's a controversial answer, man.
I know, but you're more likely to survive something that's dangerous if you smell that it smells, like something you shouldn't eat, as opposed to you've already tasted it and be like, oh, this tastes like something I shouldn't have put in my mouth. It's probably already too late at that point.
Good point.
I was thinking taste too. I would greatly miss the taste of food, but I can't smell very well anyways, like just as a normal human. My sense of smell is trash. And when I do get something that, like, I recognize the smell or smells really good, man, am I very excited about it. Where taste, if I had to do away with one, obviously I'd like to be able to see and hear and feel things, because those are all very important. In a pure survival aspect, yeah, I think taste would be the one you'd cut out, because then you could just eat anything, and there's plenty of things that I don't like to eat that, like, if they didn't taste like anything, I could just mouth them down and be fine. So I would go with taste too, although, like, it would hurt me as a person.
It's also weird though too, because have you ever not had taste? When I got my wisdom teeth out, they hit one of my nerves and I lost my taste for a little bit. It's weird. Like, sauces are just slimy. There's nothing to them. They're just weird. I don't know. But I do think it's an interesting concept to lose your sense of touch.
It's all right as a person that has some neuropathy. It's weird to not feel things. And you can get into quite a bit of trouble if, like, you can't feel your feet.
Yeah.
And, like, a nail
Oh, well, I
goes
didn't mean
through.
like a medical condition of I can't feel. Just like if it just disappeared.
Yeah.
There are people born without the sense of touch on anywhere on their skin, and their life expectancy is like 35 because they don't know when they've hurt themselves.
Weird.
So it's, yeah.
Probably the worst one.
arguably. I mean, I don't think there's a great one.
There's not a good
I would
answer.
rather not lose any of them. But
Yep.
Very fortunate to have them all.
I would rather have more senses.
that's wild. A sense of self,
A sense of well-being.
sense of financial freedom.
And like being able to feel magnetic waves and things like that.
Oh,
Like other
you-
senses
oh,
like
oh,
other
oh.
animals have.
See
Like
in the
a sixth
infrared
sense.
Not
spectrum.
like a sense
See
of
dead people.
self.
All right. Awesome. Let's get into autumn. And I believe, Connor, you drew the first card of autumn.
Yes, I have drawn the 6 of Autumn, and that is to introduce a dark mystery among the members of the community, or conflict flares up among community members and result in a project fail.
Oh, shit.
Whoa. Projects we have right now are the command center, the poison for the weapons, and the doom dwellers are moving into their cave.
So there is a conflict flaring up between members of the community. The one group that is into trying to harness the poison power of these plants, and larger other members of the community, a larger group of them, they're all not like large people. Some of them are. They feel that it's a waste of resources and time to be making this poison when we should be preparing ourselves for the coming winter by fortifying supplies that will help us instead of concentrating on something that will be used against someone, possibly even members of the community. And so they sabotage the poison mission by non-violently destroying the poisons that have been brought back and not harming anyone who is involved in the project.
All right. So the poison project fails. And on your turn, what would you like to do?
I'm going to start a project of using the nearby cave system, exploring it and trying to use it as a storage for our goods over the winter. It seems to be a nice climate-controlled place. So, building a outpost in the cave.
Oh, shit. Okay. And the one
The one
we
that's
found in
close
the
to
sinkhole?
us.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
with the sinkhole
All
where the
right.
duck feet have been coming out of. I'm thinking it's going to take at least 5 weeks.
It's a pretty long project, I would think. Build
Yeah.
a secondary outpost. Yeah, I'd go with 5.
If that's Connor's turn, the command center is done.
The radios are done.
Awesome. Even better. That's going to give us a good way to communicate underground.
All right, and it's my turn. I got the ace. The community becomes obsessed with a single project. Which one? Why? Choose one. They decide to take more time to ensure that it's perfect. Add 3 weeks to the project's die. They drop everything else to work on it. All of the projects fail.
Right now, the doom dwellers are moving in for 2 more weeks, and the outpost is being built for 5.
I'm gonna go with the. We're gonna put all of our efforts into the outpost there, and the Doom Dwellers project is going to fail. Why don't we go with to finish the project that we took their resources while they were moving in, so they didn't have enough to finish moving in.
Okay.
Does that work narratively?
And that puts this die up 3.
I think the other one just fails. I don't think you add to that one. I think the other one was add time and continue your other projects.
Yeah. Drop everything else to work on it. All other projects fail. So I don't think that dice changes.
Okay.
Did the doom dwellers move back in with us or no?
We're going to hold a discussion on whether we should invite the Doom Dwellers back into our community. That's going to be my action for this turn.
Okay. I'll take the role of Sally.
I'll take the role of the captain again.
I'm just going to be just a random townspeople who are...
We deserve to come back to the community. You guys stole our stuff, which prevented us from being able to live peacefully on our own. So it's only right that we've contributed to this society, that we be allowed to come in. Plus, we have the most expansive knowledge of underground because we've been exploring the tunnels the most. So we should definitely be allowed to come back in and to help with this outpost because we want to live underground anyways. So
I agree. We should let them back in. We did take some of their supplies, and we are building up an outpost right now in our own set of tunnels. If they want to be in the tunnels, they can go help out the folks at the outpost there. They haven't done much ill to the community at large other than trying to bring people to their questionable cause. But outside of that, I say they're fine. And they might even help us in our outpost endeavor.
When they left, they abandoned the community at large and stole resources when they left and put the entire community in danger. and we only took back what was rightfully ours in the first place, and they shouldn't be allowed back because they've turned their backs on us once before.
I'm taking a contempt token.
Where do you expect us to go? You've already taken our stuff. We have nowhere else. Part of what's on here is rightfully ours. Anyways, we traveled with you guys. We are due our own peaceful existence, whatever that looks like.
I'm gonna say we should let them in because more people to help with things is always better. Although I am concerned about more mouths to feed in the winter.
I am going to take a contempt, and due to the vote of 3 against 1, not argue or hinder the reacquisition of the Doom Dwellers into the community.
All right, the Doom Dwellers are back. And I'm going to symbolize their return just with the same tent that they used outside of the cave. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
I got the 2 of clubs. Someone returns to the community. Who and where were they? Or you find a body. Do people recognize who it is? What happened? Well, I'm not going to do someone returns to the community because we kind of just did that. I think someone finds a body of someone that was clearly trying to get to the medicinal flowers, but from the other side, from opposite camp.
Is it a body that is recognized?
It is not. It is, in fact, an alien.
From the crash ship, possibly?
From the crashed ship?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the crashed... Oh.
There's 2 crash ships.
Yeah.
There's an alien ship, and then there's the one from where our guy came from.
Yes.
one of the
Where was that other crash site?
far away, not on our map.
Not from the guy we know, but from the alien guys?
Right on the north side of the woods.
Okay. That would make sense. We can kind of maybe guess that it might be from that. I guess we wouldn't know.
So do you mind if we symbolize your alien body as a lizard folk person?
No, that's fine. They could be a lizard folk type alien person.
Let's put a line through him. He's dead.
Poison flowers?
No, the medicinal ones. It looks like
okay.
he maybe knew and was trying to get to them, but didn't make it in time.
Well, that guy with the red line through him, that's going to be our dead alien.
Perfect. I think I'm going to start a project.
All right.
I'm not sure of our materials, but I would like to start crafting things in the smelter and the forge.
Okay.
But I don't know what kind of things. Something to keep us safe in the winter? Warm in the winter?
Long and pokey.
Maybe my project would be the pelts to make warm clothing for the winter.
Okay.
That seems like a good one.
How many weeks do you think that would take?
Probably like 3.
I'd be comfortable
4?
with 3. What do you think, Connor?
I think 3.
3, yeah.
3?
Let's go with 3.
Then that is my turn.
All right. Let's see what I got. I got the 7 of clubs. A project just isn't working out as expected. Radically change the nature of this project. Don't modify the project die. When it resolves, you'll be responsible for telling the community how it went. Or something goes afoul and supplies are ruined. Add a new scarcity. We only have the outpost project.
And the winter
weather
clothes.
And the winter clothes project.
You could have it when Sally came back that she wants to make it much more than an outpost. You'd have to narrate it.
That's a good one, modifying that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most contentious project anyways. So with the addition of the Doom
Dwellers.
Doom Dwellers, with the return of the Doom Dwellers and them working on the project too, they have a drastically different idea of what it should end up ultimately be like. And so they begin trying to get people to think their way instead of the ship commander. So she's trying to sow some seeds of rebellion in there once again.
Going more from food storage to like an actual
Living quarters.
outpost.
Yeah, so like trying to move the people down there.
And then you still get an action.
Yeah. I'm going to send an expedition out after they found the alien guy dead by the medicinal flowers. I'm going to send an expedition to visit that other ship to see if there's resources or anybody alive. Convinced that not all aliens are bad because of the duck people. We're going to inspect that. So I don't know how many weeks. It's 4 to the forest with logging or hunting. So I would say maybe 3.
We've made that trek several times now.
Yeah.
So, and while dragging wagons or sleds full of wood, so there's probably a decent road at this point.
Yeah.
So I would take a week off for that.
I would say 3.
3?
Just to go explore and come back.
I can agree to 3.
So everything's at 3 now? Or did we get rid of the winter clothing altogether?
No, winter clothing is still going.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got the 9, and that is the community works constantly, and as a result, a project finishes early.
Ooh.
Or a group goes out to explore the map more thoroughly and finds something that had been previously overlooked. I'm going to go with the community works constantly, and as a result, a project finishes early. And with the addition of the Doom Dwellers, they went down and they completely changed what they were. They were able to, while they were in the tunnels and in the underground, working with the people, they were more able to, in a coherent way, explain their thoughts about how being underground makes the most sense for protection for the winter to come, even if there isn't a cataclysmic volcanic event, which they still believe is going to happen. They're making a lot of sense about how getting underground, it's a little bit warmer in some spots and not as far underground. It's a little cooler, so you have different spots for storing of different kinds of goods. And so she convinces a lot of people, and her other Doom Dweller friends provide a lot of extra support into that project. So they've created an outpost at the top part of the tunnel, as well as a storeroom and a small encampment further down into the warmer lower layers of the tunnel that do seem to be getting closer to the volcano portion.
Okay, so do you want to put this camp in kind of where that room was? Do you want it further down? What do you think?
Yeah, the camp should probably be further down, like right there, for that's where like the camp is.
Okay.
And then maybe right at the top they have just, a post there. And they were able to find out that the duck people are in fact friendly, and they have enlisted their help, which is also why it was so quick, and they were able to further their knowledge into this cave with their previously existing help. Although they weren't the best at keeping their community together, and so they had a very scarce amount of them, and we've been able to benefit together by bringing our community building skills to them and really expanded on their camp they had made down there.
Cool.
Fucking solid. All right, so we got a red camp up by the hole in the ground, and then we have a blue camp down underground. So surround that by the underground passage.
And then, how many projects do we just have? One going now, and it's
2, we have the winter clothes and investigating the alien
and
ship.
investigating the alien ship.
But do a project if you want to do a project. Winter is coming.
In their investigations, they have found deep past the camp in the underground tunnels a very, very large cavernous room that seems to have an altar in the far end of it. It looks like there might have been sacrifice at some point. Or something. You can't quite tell. It's been a long time. There's some sticky stuff on there. You don't know if it's blood or if it's just residue from candles and burned up stuff. But the room has been carved out in such a way that there's a few spots where if you put a few lamps, it just illuminates the entire cavernous room in a very warm glow.
Cool.
Okay.
Creepy.
I have drawn the 4 of clubs. The strongest among you dies.
No!
Oh, shit.
What caused the death? The weakest among you dies. Who is to blame for their death?
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the strongest among us dies. Who was the strongest among us?
I would say the captain certainly fancies himself the strongest among us.
Yeah, but he definitely isn't.
I mean, I was thinking somebody on the crew, at least, to help.
I would pay
The head
somebody
blacksmith
order.
is probably pretty big.
How is the ship powered? The guy who does all the shoveling.
Poor Daryl's dead.
He was built like a bull.
And what killed him is fumes coming up through the cave tunnel from the volcano.
Which cave
Oh,
tunnel?
shit.
Gonna go with they kind of merged down, so they're just venting up through. And for that, I am going to, for my action, start a project to take parts of the ship and create a gate or a airtight, a wall and a bulkhead in the tunnel right past the encampment that will stop anything from fumes to critters from getting into the camp, but that we could still open and pass through. And I think that should take 6 weeks.
That seems like it'll take a long time.
Making an airtight wall.
Putting a sphincter in the cave there.
Gross. Where the
Basically an airlock, right?
Yeah, basically an airlock, but I want it on the where the outpost is, so it also blocks off the altar.
Okay, so that's where we'll put it if and when it gets completed. I'm going to add some fumes.
Call that the cave gate.
if that's your turn, our winter clothing is ready.
Awesome.
And the alien invasion ship people are almost back.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but if it comes up and one of the duck people has to speak, his name is Howard.
Of course. I got the 8 of clubs. Someone sabotages a project, and the project fails as a result. Who did this and why? Someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? I think someone gets caught trying to mess with the airtight wall, and I think the community builds a little jail.
Oh shit. A dungeon?
Yeah.
Not a dungeon, a prison?
Yeah, I think we'll flip it though, and since we're gonna live underground, we'll put the prison above ground, where it'll be cold in the winter.
Okay, so a very, evilly intentioned.
Maybe Cage.
I think it's Lisa. I think Sally was a little crazy, and Lisa really took it to another level.
Okay. Where would you like this jail thing to be put?
Outside the walls and in a little building.
Alright, so we got a little cage to symbolize the prison. Poor Lisa's incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lisa was incarcerated.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, not Sally.
No, Sally's normal doomsday crazy. Lisa's violent person crazy. I think we should have a discussion about what to do with the prisoner. Do you think she's going to keep trying to sabotage us?
I think the prison was the right thing. If we didn't do that, then I think we should bring her to the forest and let her fend for herself.
I think imprisonment with minimum rations is acceptable.
I think we've been tolerable of all of the different issues that have arisen in our community this far, but this is the first time someone has taken to an act of sabotage, and I agree we cannot tolerate this. I think that, a little stay in the cage, little jail time is adequate, and if they don't learn, you don't get 2 chances after that. Once the cave seal is built, we just put them on the other side of that, or banish them from the community. I guess we don't have to put them on the other side, but I say banishment for a second offense.
2-strike policy.
What if this is her second strike? Somebody killed Slater.
But we don't know who did that.
Maybe we should find out. As Slater's wife, I would like to know who killed Slater. And I think it was one of the crazy people like Lisa.
Okay, I think,
We can certainly investigate that, but those right now they should be treated as 2 separate.
yes, we're to table that discussion for next time and move on. And the investigate
takes a point
alien
of
ships are
contempt.
back. Lisa does? Or the wife does?
No, sorry. Yeah, the
Slater's
wife. Cheryl.
Okay. The alien invasion people are back.
They come back. They have a bunch of handheld items, things that could be easily transported back and forth, and would like to go back with more resources, except for they all seem really, really exhausted, more so than other people that have traveled just as far and came back. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh. Alright, I have drawn the Queen of Clubs. Disease spreads through the community. Choose one. You spend the week quarantining and treating the disease. Project dice are not reduced this week. Nobody knows what to do about it. Add health and fertility as a scarcity. What projects do we have going still?
Just the airtight wall.
We do have medicine as an abundance.
Yes. So disease spreads through the community. Choose one. And I'm going to choose nobody knows what to do about it. And I would like to add or move health and fertility to the scarcity list. Reason being, the medicinal flowers that we've been getting are not seeming to help. And perhaps that's why the lizard guy died before he returned to his ship with some or there. But they are not effective against the disease that the people that just visited the alien ship have.
Oh, they brought it back.
Dun dun dun.
And for my turn, they're going to discover something new. Between where the medicinal plants and the town was, the community started to hear a hum that has increased over a bunch of days. And after several days, they go and look, and there's just a large black orb sitting on the ground, emitting a hum, and it seems to vibrate on the ground.
And that's the end of that week. All right. So I'll pull the Jack. A project finishes early. Which one? Why? If there are no projects underway, restlessness creates animosity, and animosity leads to violence. Who gets hurt? What are our projects?
Just
Wall?
the wall. Yep.
Okay. So, with a large portion of the community being sick from a disease that our current medicines hadn't been working, everybody who was not sick wanted to be away from the sick people, so they all ran down the tunnels and helped complete the wall that will hopefully keep what we think are noxious fumes been making some other people sick from a different direction. And they were able to complete that wall in the cave.
All right, we have a airlock on the map.
Cool.
And then I am going to start a project where in the caves, in the little camp in the cave, they're trying to figure out how to handle their food storage issues. The growing seasons are ending, and there's not enough food to make it until they can grow more food on the surface again. So some people have found some mushrooms growing in the cave that they have found a few, and some of them have been found to be able to be eaten and not cause sickness. So they're trying to find a way to cultivate those and create a little mushroom farm in the cave. They also found some that are very good for tea. I think this will take 3 or 4 weeks.
What would you like those mushrooms to look like?
The one right above where your mouse is right now, actually, yeah. That works. That's the mushroom farm right there.
Okay.
3 weeks, you said?
3 weeks. Sounds good to me.
Starting a mushroom farm. All right.
My turn now?
Yes.
All right, I drew the 3 of clubs. Someone leaves the community after issuing a dire warning. Who? What is the warning? Or somebody issues a dire warning and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? Start a contentious project that relates to it. I'm gonna go with the first one. Somebody leaves the community after issuing a dire warning. Who and what is the warning? It is going to be the captain. He is going to issue a warning that living underground is not safe, and that there is a dire cataclysm that is going to happen shortly. And he decides to leave the community altogether.
Oh, fuck. Okay. The captain left.
Whoever I represent in the community that was feeling contemptuous, they are no longer feeling contempt.
Okay.
It was for one of the captain's previous
Mine is-
positions, and
Oh,
with
cool.
him leaving, they're like,
Okay.
okay, that's fine.
Mine is actually from the captain's perspective, so him leaving would end his contempt for the dwellers that have come back, at least
Hey,
in
him-
terms of the community.
I don't remember what mine is for. Something
It's
Derek did.
against me. I think it's the same as his. I think it was fighting with the cave dwellers.
Slater's wife is still in contempt and very contemptuous person because no one has cared about her husband's passing since he died. So no one's given her any help.
For my action, on my turn, I am going to start an investigation into Slater's death. I think it should take 2 weeks.
Okay.
That is the end of my turn.
I got the 10 of clubs. Harvest is here and plentiful. Add in abundance. Or, cold autumn winds drive out your enemies. Remove a threatening force from the map and the area. I'm gonna go with the first one. Harvest is here and plentiful. Add in abundance. Man, what do we want an abundance of? I assume we already have fish on the abundance level?
We do already have fish.
I guess it would be vegetables. We would have harvested some things that we planted in the springtime and have come up. We got some corns and some gourds.
So root vegetables.
I was writing mixed veg.
Are
Mixed
root
veg.
vegetables winter vegetables? Maybe not all of them, I guess.
A gourd's a root vegetable, isn't it?
And
Gourds grow
No.
above ground. They are a
Oh yeah, that one. They do
Potatoes
harvest, I guess.
and
fall.
carrots. Yes.
Yeah.
rutabagas, maybe
Sweet potato,
turnips,
rutabaga,
radish. I planted a bunch of radishes.
beets.
Nice.
That's something I'm trying to grow this year, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dwight.
And for my action, man, I'm not ever sure. I think we discover something new.
Okay.
And we discover that plants that are grown in the soil on this planet grow to be thrice as big as normal.
All right.
Just put a carrot or something.
A really large carrot, like
Yeah.
the kind they grow for canned soup.
There's a
They have
carrot.
a carrot. Get out.
I told you that if I... Oh, they have lots of
Perfect.
stuff. Select all. All of them.
Oh, the brown carrot.
Where is our farm?
In the walls. Where it's
Inside
safe.
the walls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the bottom right corner.
Picturing like within the wall.
In between the walls.
There's a pile of veggies inside the walls to indicate our growing abundance of crops.
And that's your turn.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's see. I have drawn the King of Clubs. A natural disaster strikes the area. What is it? Choose one. You focus on getting everyone to safety, remove an abundance, and a project fails. Or, you focus on protecting your supplies and hard work at any cost. Several people die as a result. What projects do we have going?
The mushroom farm and Slater's death.
Okay. We are going to focus on protecting our supplies and hard work at any cost. So people begin to move a lot more stuff down into the tunnels, and I think a large part of the community begins to abandon the regular encampment to try to get into safety. And what happens is the volcano begins to become active, and people can visually see smoke and fumes and lava begin to spurt out of it, and several fireballs have been spotted firing out of the top of the volcano. So they're working really pretty hard to get everything down into the underground shelter. As a result, several people die when a fireball hits nearby the community and wipes out a bunch of people. So about 10 people are killed in that were moving some of our resources down into the tunnel.
Stan, Danny, Sally, Georgette, Roy.
No, it's not any of the main characters. Gotta just take some of the ensemble out.
All of their significant others. Or brother or sister.
It's a singles club
Everybody
now.
takes contention.
Everyone grab a fistful.
Yeah. Oh, it's still my turn, right?
Do you have an action?
Yes, you have an action.
I do have an action. And so I'm going to start a discussion. That discussion is going to be led by Sally. And Sally believes that we have to respect the volcano. And we did find an altar, which means somebody around here must have been making sacrifices to keep the peace. And ever since we put up that airlock, we've sealed ourselves off from it. And I just think that we've cursed ourselves by not following the laws of this land, and we may have to take some drastic measures to do something to ensure that we don't get eradicated by the volcano. No one wants to oppose? All right.
I propose sacrificing Sally.
Sally's going to very much take a contempt point immediately from that.
So we're having a discussion about
Sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Pretty much.
Okay.
What Sally is proposing is to sacrifice someone to appease the volcano.
Well, I don't think we should sacrifice a person, but we do have an abundance of vegetables, and our mushroom farm is going well so far. We could certainly try, and if you want to hang out there, Sally, and watch and see what happens, you can, if you're volunteering to hang out at the sacrificial altar for a while, I'm not going to oppose you there.
I think it'll take more than vegetables, and I think we should all be there.
I don't think anyone should be there. I think that your nonsense has been too much, and you need to stop scaring everybody.
I'm only being realistic. This isn't the planet that we're used to, and I don't think we should, necessarily follow the same laws as the last one we were on, because it didn't go super well. So maybe we should get more in tune with how the things work, how nature works.
Sally, who do you propose we sacrifice?
One
I
of the
agree with that other person that maybe it should be you.
either someone that's in the prison or one of the crew members.
You're the only one that's been in the prison.
No,
oh, Lisa's in the
Lisa's
prison.
in the prison.
No.
Lisa's the only one in the prison. She might even be thrilled.
Someone's gonna grab some contention against Sally. She's very quick to talk about sacrifice, but
Doesn't want to volunteer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my pitch. If we're voicing sacrifices, Sally should be willing to do that.
Yep. Connor's turn, and the mushroom farm and the Slater's death thing is done.
Well, the mushroom farm has been going great. We're having so much success down here. We've got an entire room full of several different species of mushrooms. These ones, you can chop them up and cook them over a fire. They're great. You know, you can put one slice of mushroom between two other slices of mushroom and eat like a little mushroom sandwich. And these other smaller ones over here are good for tea. And there's just 3 different kinds of mushrooms. Maybe more. Don't eat the spotted ones, though. Unless you've got like 6 hours to kill, because they make your stomach hurt a lot.
Shrooms times 3.
How did your investigation go?
Slater's investigation turns out that he fell into the fishery and got caught up in the net while fleeing some of those reptilian aliens.
Oh, shit. Okay. Slater's wife removes her contempt point.
I've got the 5. The parish arrives. Who are they? Why have they chosen your community, and for what? Or, a small gang of marauders is making its way through local terrain. How many are there? What weapons do they carry? So, the parish arrives.
Oh, shit.
And it is a small party of these. They seem almost reptilian creatures, but they're very shiny. And then they have come and they say, "We see you've already started the work. The end times are coming. We must complete the passageway to the volcano underground."
Oh, fuck.
And they're here with a story that is vaguely similar to what Sally had been expressing, but with enough differences that it's, you know, not the same. But Sally overlooks these. And so they're trying to convince everyone to move deeper into the tunnels because that's where they need to be when the volcano reaches its full eruption. And
Okay, so I added some lizard folk to the map outside of the encampment. Does that track with where you want them?
that sounds good. And then for my action, I'm going to hold a discussion on how the town feels about these new arrivals. And I'll represent some of the, you know, more culty members who were the Doom Dwellers who said, "I told you! This is exactly what I foretold! The lizard people have come to tell us we need to go further underground. This is the sign the volcano is going off. We need to make a sacrifice."
I think that the cult people want us to sacrifice all of us, and we should go underground, but not move too close to the erupting volcano.
I am going to represent the less superstitious group and say that
The reasonable.
the reasonable list, yeah, that we need to stop with the superstition and conspiracies and focus on our survival and building up our infrastructure and our community and not pander to superstitions and cults.
Yeah, I'm not going to support sacrifice, human or otherwise. I'm not going to serve deity or entity that would demand that of somebody. And if we continue down this path, then I think myself and a lot of the others are going to leave to go find a new home again.
And that's the end of my week.
Do we have any projects going?
Nope.
I think that the autumn is coming to a close.
I think so too.
Did autumn just end?
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
I'm always the one that draws it.
Well, alright. That's the end of autumn. Next up is winter, and we find out how this whole saga concludes. I'm very excited for that. I feel like autumn has really progressed things in a very...
Not good way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're not in a great situation.
This is a good
right
cliffhanger for going into the hardest season.
now. Fuck yeah. So, on that note then, we will...
See
you next Tuesday.
Tales from the Crit is part of the Wolfbeard Games podcast network. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and if you have, please subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. To stay up to date on any news about the podcast, follow us on Instagram at Tales from the Crit Podcast. Check out our YouTube channel with the same name, and most importantly, tell a friend. Welcome back to Tales from the Crits. Nope, not Tales from the Crits.
Just the one. Just one crit.
That's all it takes.
If you're blind, you get a dog. Is there different strains of meth?
I've
It's
heard
mango
different
peach
colors.
meth. Come on, guys.
It's mango peach flavored meth.